Hey guys, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the steps you need to take to become a Vegas stripper, as well as tips on getting hired. So I wrote down some things in my notebook, that way I won't forget anything. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes. So first thing, how old do you have to be to work in Las Vegas? There are 3 clubs, I believe. I know for a fact there's 2 clubs, but I think there's a new one that just opened. But there are 3 clubs that hire 18 and up, and those clubs do not serve alcohol. So whether you're a customer wants to come in and they're like 18 years old, or you're a dancer that wants to work at that age, you can work in those establishments and there's no alcohol served. So it's just a juice bar, which to me is interesting, because coming from Portland, Oregon, there are clubs there that the customers have to be 21 to enter because there's alcohol, but girls can still work in that club as like 18 and up. But moving on, you do need a license in order to work in Las Vegas. And to get a license, you would have to go to a club and audition there. And more than likely, they're going to ask you if you have a sheriff's card, or you can just tell them, hey, I need a referral. Sometimes they'll hand you the piece of paper, or they'll make you do an audition and then hand you the piece of paper. So the piece of paper they give you, that is your referral card, and you will need that to get your sheriff's card, which will be your license. So you will take that referral paper, take it down to the police station. You have to do a fingerprint, like a background check. You fill out some documents, you pay about $100, and they give you a temporary one, and you can work with a temporary one, and you can audition at other clubs with the temporary card until your permanent card comes in. So once the background process and everything is all like done, you just go back to the police station and pick up your permanent card. It takes a few months. I think mine took maybe 2 or 3 months for me to get the permanent one, but you can go a week before the expiration date. Just make sure you go before it expires, because if it expires, you have to do the whole process again. Or make sure you take a picture of your temporary card, because they can still continue the process because you have the numbers and the information on that. So with the license, depending on the club location that you want to work at, there are some clubs that's located in the county and some that are located in the city. So if you want to work at multiple clubs, more than likely you'll have to get a county and a city license. It's the exact same process. And on top of that process, you do need a business license to work in a Las Vegas club. When you get hired, they'll tell you the website to go to. You pay about $200. They'll tell you which one to select, and you get it instantly. It's just something you fill out online. It gives you the expiration date, which lasts about a year. And make sure you print that out or take a picture of it. So that right there, if you just get one license, that's going to run you about $300. If you get a city, a county, and a business license, that's $400 right there. Some clubs also do require a TAMS card, which is just a alcohol liquor awareness course that you can take online. It's really quick, easy peasy. I believe it's only $20. It's annoying, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Third thing I wanna mention are the club hours. So a lot of club out here are 24 hours. And with that being said, make sure that you're showing up for the shift that you would like to get hired for. Make sure you call the clubs to find out what days and what time they audition for, and make sure you ask who you should talk to that does the auditions, because there's been time where a club told me, Tuesday between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. and I go, and the person that's doing the auditions is not there yet, or they're not working that day. So to save you some time, make sure you find out the day, the time, and who you should ask for when you go there to do your auditions. On the topic of auditions, I want to mention the club aesthetics in Vegas. It's Vegas, so think, glitz and glam. They like it a little bit more toned down. So don't go to a strip club with like crazy colored hair and crazy eyelashes. I'm not saying not to go with big eyelashes, but I think you have an idea of the type of eyelashes I'm talking about, especially if you're a brown woman. It is a little bit harder in Vegas, I will say, to get hired and be on that particular shift, because they do judge you a lot on your body type, your aesthetic, and a lot of strip clubs out here, I hate to say, but they do have a black girl quota. I've even had management at a club tell me about, like, you know, their black girl quotas and things like that. So definitely, you know, natural hairstyle, you know, make sure your makeup is like on point, make sure your nails are done, lashes, eyebrow, all that. Go in looking cute. Make sure you show up for like nighttime attire if you want to get hired on nighttime. And the cool thing with auditions here is a lot of them don't make you go on stage and actually like audition 2 songs. So if you're a person that is new to dancing, don't let that like intimidate you, because a lot of the clubs here just do a body check. So some clubs, you go in, you know, you do the whole process, they make you put on a 2-piece, and they make you walk in a line, and they just look at your body when you're walking in that line. So that is really your audition. Some clubs, you don't even have to do that. So show up looking cute, because there's been times where management or whoever is at the door and they just look at me and what I'm wearing and what I'm showing up to the club in, and they're like, okay, your body looks good, you look cute. Yep, you're hired. Like, when do you want to work? So I think it's just always good to always just go to work looking cute too, because you never know who you're gonna see in the parking lot. There's been times where customers come back into the club after they left because I'm going in looking cute and not looking bummy. So just look cute. Now, all the clubs in Vegas are gentlemen's club. And if you're unfamiliar with like gentlemen's club versus urban clubs, gentlemen clubs, they're not really big with like throwing money on stage. It's more like sit down, getting a lot of your money from like dances and VIPs and champagne rooms. And urban clubs is a lot more just like twerking and like booty shaking, a little bit more ratchet. So Vegas just opened up one urban club, but besides that, all of them are all gentlemen's clubs. Yeah, and I'll also say make sure you tip your managers and tip your staffs and people that are helping you out. That's something took me by surprise, because coming from clubs that I'm used to, it's you don't really have like a lot of people that are like on hands or on deck. I don't know what the right terminology is that I'm trying to say, but basically a lot of clubs here, there are people that might guide like customers to their seat, or if somebody get a section, they might, you know, bring the customers over there, ask the customers what type of like, you know, ladies they're interested in, if they need ones or whatever. And those helpers, I'm gonna say those helpers will go and find those girls, bring those girls to the section. Or if there's a group of guys that look lonely or something, a helper might tell you like, oh, go talk to that guy. They're going to expect a tip, especially if that guy goes and does a dance with you, you know? So make sure you just like slide them something, whatever you feel is reasonable. I see a lot of that here, like a lot, especially when I'm just like going to do a VIP room or like whatever. Everybody's just trying to finesse and look out for themselves and get a tip. Like, I'm not mad at it, but if you're working in one of those clubs, not all clubs are like that. There's only one club I've worked at in Vegas that was like that. But if you do work at a club like that, just make sure you take care of, you know, the people that are helping you and so forth. So that is pretty much all my tips and steps on what you need to do to get hired in Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, I know there was a girl that commented about like her weight issue or like her measurement when it comes to the clubs. Sometimes it's not necessarily about like, oh, I feel like I'm too thick or I'm too like big for this club. Sometimes it's your outfit or the way that, you know, you're presenting yourself. I'm not sure which club you auditioned at, but don't let that discourage you. I've heard people tell me they auditioned at a few clubs and they got turned down. So they said, you know, forget Vegas and just went back to wherever they came from. Don't do that. Like, if you really want to like make it as an entertainer or make it as like a Vegas dancer, go from club to club to club, audition, because a club is gonna hire you. Even if a club hires you for the day shift or the mid shift, because a lot of them are 24 hours, don't get discouraged, you know. If it's a club you really want to work at, still keep your contract with that club, audition at other clubs, and show up for that club, you know, once in a while, or figure out what you can do to be moved up to a to a night shift. There are some clubs out here that, let's say they hire you, but body wise, they feel like you need to tone up. And those clubs will more than likely say, you know what, like, we like you, everything looks good. If you tone up, you can audition for a nighttime shift in like 3 months. I've worked at 2 clubs that's like that. I wasn't told that, but one of the house moms tells me like that's kind of how like they dictate like shifts and like getting moved up and stuff like that, and so have a few other dancers. I've also worked at another club where I have heard the manager like hire a girl for a mid shift or day shift, and you know, she asked him why and all this other stuff, and he was just like, you're cute, but you know, there's a few things you can work on, but you can always re-audition for a nighttime shift. So don't let anything anyone says about Vegas being like, you know, whatever they say about Vegas, don't let that like discourage you. Just come audition for as many clubs as you can, because a club is going to say yes. Like, you are the perfect person for a club, okay? So those are about all the things I had listed. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop it in the comment box, and I will maybe do a Q&A and answer a few questions. But yeah, that's it. I know I said a lot in this video, so ignore that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.